Hi, Heartfelt families. This is Mr. Justin. Today we are going to be reading a story that has a lot to do with cooking. A lot of our morning messages and our stories that have been told and read by other teachers in our small group activities have this week have had a lot to do with cooking because that's kind of the theme we are looking into this week. And cooking is super important because it's something that is in many different cultures and in our families, and everyone has to eat. And so cooking, we are constantly cooking. And so this time we're going to be reading a story called Stone Soup, and it's written and it's illustrated by a man named John J. Muth. And so let's get started. All right. So 3 monks, Hawk, Lock, and Sue, traveled along a mountain road. They talked about cat whiskers, the color of the sun, and giving. What makes one happy, Sue? Asked Hawk, the youngest monk. Old Sue was the wisest and said, let's find out. You guys can see 3 monks walking up. You guys can see it almost looks like the Great Wall of China. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any pictures of the Great Wall of China. The sound of the bell brought their gaze to the rooftops of the village below. They could not see from so high above that the village had been through many hard times. Famine, floods, and war had made the villagers weary and untrusting of strangers. They had even become suspicious of their neighbors. Suspicious is a really big word. It just means that they're untrusting. They don't really trust people or certain things. And so if you guys can see, there's the village down here, and then the monks are going down to the village. The villagers worked hard, but only for themselves. There was a farmer, there was a tea merchant, a seamstress, a doctor, and a carpenter, and many others. But they had little to do with one another. So you can see on the pages, they have all different people in the village doing all different things. When the monks reached the foot of the mountain, the villagers disappeared into their houses. No one came to the gates to greet them, and when the people saw them enter the village, they closed their windows tight. You can see this is the front of their village, and then the 3 monks are right there. I wonder why the villagers I don't know if they're scared or they just don't want to meet new people. I wonder why they're closing everything off when these monks come into town. The monks knocked on the door of the very first house. There was no answer. Then the house went dark. They knocked on the second door, and the same thing happened. It happened again and again from one house to the next. These people do not know happiness, they all agreed. But today, said Sue, his face bright as the moon, we will show them how to make stone soup. They gathered twigs and branches and made a fire. They placed a small tin pot on top and filled it with water from the village well. A brave little girl who had been watching came to them. What are you doing? She asked. We are gathering twigs, said Lock. We are making a fire, said Hawk. We are making stone soup, and we need 3 rounds of smooth stones, said Sue. The little girl helped the monk look around the courtyard until they found just the right ones. They put them in the water to cook. These stones will make excellent soup, said Sue. But this very small pot won't make much, I'm afraid. My mother has a bigger pot, said the girl. I don't know if you guys can see the 3 stones that the girl and the monk they went to go find. The little girl ran home. As she started to take a pot, her mother asked what she was doing. The 3 strangers are making soup from stones, she said. They need our biggest pot. Said the girl's mother. Stones are easy to come by. I'd like to learn how to do that. The monks poked the coals. As smoke drifted up, the neighbors peered out the windows. The fire in the large pot in the middle of the village was a true curiosity. One by one, the people of the village came out to see just what this stone soup was about. You guys can see, little girl, that is a very large pot. I don't think I even have that large of a pot in my house. You can see all the villagers kind of looking out their doors and their windows, and they're kind of looking outside to see what's going on and how they can maybe make some stone soup. Of course, old style stone soup should be well seasoned with salt and pepper, said Hawk. This is true, said Locke as he stirred the giant pot filled with water and stones. But we have more. I have some salt and pepper, said the scholar, his eyes big with curiosity. He disappeared and came back with salt and pepper and even a few other spices. Sue took a taste. The last time we had soup stones of this size and color. Carrots made the broth very sweet. Carrots, said the woman from the back. I may have a few carrots, but just a few, and off she ran. She returned with as many carrots as she could carry and dropped them into the pot. See the woman, she said she could only bring a couple, but then I think she changed her mind and she brought a lot. Do you think it would be better with onions, said Hawk. Oh, yes, maybe an onion would taste good, said the farmer, and he hurried off. He returned in a moment with 5 big onions, and he dropped them into the bubbling soup. Now, that's a fine soup, he said. The villagers all nodded their heads as the smell was very agreeable. But if only we had some mushrooms, said Sue, rubbing his chin. Several villagers licked their lips. A few dashed away and returned with fresh mushrooms, noodles, pea pods, and cabbages. So it sounds like the villagers are pretty eager now to help these monks make this soup, because it sounds pretty good what they're making. Something magical began to happen among the villagers. As each person opened their heart to give, the next person gave even more. And as this happened, the soup grew richer and smelled more delicious. I imagined the emperor would suggest we add dumplings, said one villager, and bean curd, said another. What about cloud ear and mung beans and yams, cried some other. And taro root and winter melon and baby corn, cried other villagers. Garlic, ginger root, soy sauce, lily buds. I have some, people cried out. And off they ran, returning with all they could carry. The monks stirred and the pot bubbled. How good it smelled. How good it would taste. How giving the villagers had become. So it seems like it kind of only took one person to start giving, and then everyone else wanted to start giving as well. At last, the soup was ready. The villagers gathered together. They brought rice and steamed buns. They brought lychee nuts and sweet cakes. They brought tea to drink, and they lit lanterns. Everyone sat down to eat. They had not been together for a feast like this for as long as anyone could remember. It is quite the feast. It looks pretty good. I want to go there. I want to join them. After the banquet, they told stories, sang songs, and celebrated long into the night. Then they unlocked their doors and took the monks into their home and gave them a comfortable place to sleep. Wow, so the people who are very kind of scared of strangers not only helped the monks with their soup, but they also are inviting them into their homes as well. In the gentle spring morning, everyone gathered together near the willows to say farewell. Thank you for having us as your guests, said the monks. You have been most generous. Thank you, said the villagers. With the gifts you have given, we will always have plenty. You have shown us that sharing makes us all richer. And to think, said the monks, to be happy is as simple as making stone soup. That's the last picture. I really enjoy that story, and I think it's a great story that talks about giving and being generous and how little it takes to be generous, and how how little it takes for such a large impact to happen. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that story, and hopefully you will enjoy the rest of the stories and the rest of the small groups the rest of this during the rest of the week. All right, friends. Bye, everyone. Sending you guys a big hug. Bye.